Okay, so today I have the Minelab X-Terra Pro. Did you just get one of these? Did you get one for Christmas? Have you bought one of these recently and you're wondering what are the best settings at the park? Or maybe you've had yours for a while. Here today we're going to go to the park and I'm going to show you what I think are the best settings. But keep in mind that this machine comes with some fantastic presets already on it. If you were to do a factory reset on this and turn it on brand new right out of the box and toggle into the first two modes, which are your Park 1 and your Park 2, this machine is already ideally set up to just kill it in the parks for you. So there's no need for you to worry about what other settings you can do to make it even better. But we'll go over a couple of those little settings today when I show you what my setup is here at the park. And I'm going to be in a spot today where there's a little bit of an embankment behind a baseball field. And I'm looking for people that sat down up there and lost coins out of their pocket, maybe some jewelry. We're looking for jewelry and coins today in the park mode. One last thing I want to talk about to you is your machine came with this coil on it. There's a couple upgrades you should probably do. This is a fantastic machine. You're not going to need to upgrade the machine anytime soon. It's very capable. But there are a couple things that you should buy right away for your X-Terra Pro. Number one, you should get yourself some wireless headphones, the ML85s by Minelab. Connect wirelessly to this system so you can have your headphones on. And then another upgrade would be to get a coil that's smaller. You have this nice big coil, which is fantastic for covering a lot of ground. But if you get into an area where there's a lot of iron, a lot of close targets, and everything's kind of trashy, this hears too many things at once. So the small coil is ideal to hear that little tiny gold ring or that coin right next to a nail or a bottle cap. So go ahead and get yourself a small 6-inch round coil for this, and your wireless headphones. Those are huge upgrades for this very capable machine. We'll go ahead and get started. We're at the park. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at the machine. We're going to go ahead and set it up real quick. We'll turn it on. And you can see we're going to use this button right here to toggle through the modes. That's beach. And we get to park. There's Park 1 and Park 2. Field 1, Field 2, Beach 1, Beach 2. We're going to go to Park 2. The difference is between Park 1 and Park 2, you can see that it's 10 kilohertz. And if you're in Park 2, it goes to 15 kilohertz. So a little bit higher frequency is better for gold. Since we're going to be detecting on this hill up here and looking for gold and jewelry, that's kind of what I'm focusing on is Park 2 today. I want that 15 kilohertz versus the 10. From that point, I'm going to hit the cogwheel and I'm going to do a noise cancel. I have to hold the coil up off the ground a little bit and tap this button and let it do its thing. It's going to listen to other machines nearby and EMI and pick a channel. That's the channel it likes, channel 7. Do it one more time, and we're going to hold this button in right here, the check mark button, and pump the coil up and down. And do a ground balance. It likes 8. And you could tap that at any time. And up here you'll see when you tap it, you got auto ground balance on. See that little indicator? And off. I'm going to leave it on and let it just do its own thing today. And then volume's all the way up at 25. We're not going to do threshold. We're going to be in all tones, AT. Okay. And then this is your discrimination pattern. You can move that like this, and you could add and subtract stuff. Like if you want to go up to like 4. So right now I'll put that back on. So from basically 0 down, nothing's going to be heard all the way down to -16. Hit this again. And this is something that if you're in a lot of signals, you got a lot of stuff coming in, stay on 3. If there's not too much signals, go to 2. And if there's hardly any signals at all, go to 1. There's more about this in my other video. If you look up at the top right corner right now of the screen in this video, it'll explain this feature to you and you'll understand what the 1 through 3 means on this machine. So, but today I'll move it around as we go. I'll start out in 3 because I think there's going to be a lot of signals here. And one thing I forgot to mention is the sensitivity. That's kind of important on this machine. So if you hit these minus or plus when you're on the main screen, you'll see what your sensitivity is at. I'm at 20. Some people find that if they're in a place where there's a lot of chatter, that they turn that down to about 18 on these machines on the Minelab X-Terra Pro. And they do really well. I like 20, 21, 22. You want to have it as high as you can get it with it still being stable. This machine does very well for me at 20 everywhere I've ever been. I've never had to turn it down lower than that, but we're at 20 right now. So let's go ahead and run it at 20. All right, here's a mid conductor. Sounds good like this. Nice little tight swing. If you turn 90 on it, check it again. Yeah, we're digging that one. a little bit deeper, you can hear that it's kind of quiet, kind of deep, so I don't expect to really hear it too good on the pinpointer. Barely goes off right there. Let's go ahead and get our plug here. Okay. We'll check that with the pinpointer now. It's right up here. In this area right here. Right here somewhere. You guys see anything? Go right on it. Here. It's tough with one hand doing this. It's out. I think it's a penny. Okay, what do we got here? 80s. Turn 90. There it is. Let's dig that. Nice high conductor. Numbers are pretty close together. Just barely coming in on the pinpointer right here. Right there. Let's see if we can lift the plug up now. There we go. When you lift the plug up, your item could be literally just right there on top. So, and here it is right here. What do we got? Another penny. It's a dime. Okay. Another dime. So there was a high conductor in the 80s, and that's what it was. It was a dime about 1.5 inches or so down. All right. There we got a 16, 17 here. Really shallow. Look up here at this little depth meter. You see it only has one little arrow. It's just 1 or 2 inches down. Turn 90, it sounds good. So that low number like that, that's a low conductor. And that's right where gold would come in. If this is gold, that's where it would come in. But also, tin foil and other things that are thin, small, can come up with the same number. So if you want to find those rings, you have to dig these numbers that aren't always good. I mean, every once in a while, a ring will surprise you, but more often than not, it's not going to be a ring. It's going to be something that's trash. So, I think I'm on a sprinkler head. Let me just take a look here. Yep. So it's not a sprinkler head, it's just a cap. I'm going to go ahead and cover that right back up and leave it alone. There we go. I'm going to make a couple adjustments to the machine. I had the sensitivity up at 25. I'm going to turn it down to 23. I want to toggle with the cogwheel over to the threshold, and when you hold that down, you can hear how loud that's called threshold, that sound. It'll cut out when you go over something that's discriminated. But if you don't want to hear that threshold, I understand you can turn it all the way off, but I'm going to leave it on just a little bit so I can hear it without my headphones. And that's the main change I'm going to make. I'm going to go over here to the end, turn it down to 2. Recovery speed of 2 I think is a little better because there's not as much heavy stuff in here. It's kind of spread out. 1 might even be an option, but let's go to 2. That gives us a little bit more depth. And let's try that. Okay, here we go. All right, here we got a 65, 72. Let's turn 90 on it. A little bit higher numbers, that's interesting. Could be a coin kind of on edge, but still there. So let's dig it up and see what it is. It's a little bit deeper, I could tell. It's right here. Barely hear it on the pinpointer. So it's still on this edge. It's not in my hand. Put that dirt in. There it is. So it's another penny. It's a penny about 1.5 inches down. All right, here's a pretty exciting signal. It's got some high numbers. What do we got? 90s. That's like quarter or half dollar size. Nice. Turn 90, it's still there. About, I don't know, it says it's 3 segments, so 4, 5, 6 inches down. Let's go ahead and see what's in there. Might be a little too deep for the pinpointer. Oh, there it is. Just barely picking it up right here, so I'm right on top of it. It's important that you try the pinpointer first, because now that I know it's right there, I can make a small hole around that area without getting too much other area where I don't need to be digging. Pop it. Like I said, a lot of times your item will be right there when you pop it up. So it's still in here. Let's knock some of that dirt back in. Still in there. Getting closer. There's something down there. Yep. Let's get this thing out. Here it comes. So it was a quarter. Nice. There's a quarter. Clad quarter. It's not silver. This park's not old enough for silver, but anyway. All right, cool. That's a quarter. All right, we got a high conductor down here. Hear all that noise? You got to really kind of get in there and find what's going on. Listen for the highest part of what the signals are coming out. You want the high stuff. See how I can get right in there and wiggle on it? Just right there. But if I venture away from there, watch. All kinds of weird noises. It's a skill to find out where it's at. Once you get it like this, turn 90, check it again. See that? Okay, we're gonna dig that. It's right in the middle of my coil right now. So it's gonna be right here. Let's check it with the pinpointer. Yep, right there. It's super shallow, so we're gonna do a little different technique here, guys. Let me switch cameras. All right, so it's right there. Now it's really buzzing. You can't hear it, but it's boom, right there. It's the object is right under the grass. So let's just take a second to kind of look right here on top. No need to dig if it's just right here, right? Try not to destroy the grass, but just look and see if you see anything, because whatever this is super shallow. If we don't see it there, I'm gonna check one more time just so I kind of get a good idea where it's at. Still don't see it. Again, instead of making a big hole, I'm just gonna go right here and just slightly under the grass and just kind of pop it up a little bit right there. Again, I don't need to make a giant hole here. It's shallow. See if we can find it. And there it is. A penny is right on top. I scared a worm out, but other than that, no hole here. Look at this. Just a little tiny hole. No damage to the part. All right, got a nice high conductor here. I like that one. Up there in the quarter range again. A little bit deeper, it's got 2 segments, so 4 inches maybe. 90 degrees. Still sounds good. You notice that I can't really get it to hit like beep, 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 beep. It's like kind of wide, right? When it goes beep, beep, beep. And the reason that it's wide is it's a little bit deeper. So let me go ahead and switch camera over and I'll dig this. It's a little bit deeper. right here, and it's not very deep. Just about an inch or so. Just right over here. I'm just going to pull a little tiny inspection hole up here. And I see it right here. It's a dime so far. You know, because, oh, that's what I was going to say. It might be 2 coins in there, and there is. That's why the number factored up a little bit higher. I was hearing both of these coins together. See if there's anything else. But when you see quarter numbers and a dime pops out, sometimes you'll find that there's another coin in proximity, and that's what factored the number up. Cool. All right, here's a signal that sounds like a dime. That's that 81. Let's see. 82, 80, jumping up to 90. Number's kind of jumping around, but look how deep it is. You got 3 segments. So that's every segment's 2 inches. Turn 90. Well, the numbers are all over the place. We got to dig it and see what it is, but I'm getting a lot of number variation here. I think because it's a little bit deeper is maybe why, but yeah, I got nothing on the pinpointer. Actually, just a little tiny indicator right here. So it's this area, but it's deep. So let me go ahead and switch cameras and I'll check back in a second. All right, I went ahead and cut the plug here. My camera woman was too far away. There she is. So let me go ahead and pop this up and see what's down here. I think it's deep though. Look, there's a root in here, or yeah, it's a tree root. So let's see if you hear it here. So it's in the plug. Right here, it's in the plug right here. Pop some of that out real quick. See anything in here popping out? Really close, there it is. Dime. So the number was a little higher. Remember what I told you guys earlier? Check and see if there's a couple coins in there maybe, or just double check because we're getting some high numbers on that dime. No, it's just 1 dime. Just a good, very conductive dime. So I will recheck the hole with the machine though, just to make sure, because that was a little suspicious. So I'm going to kind of loosely cover this for a second. And let me recheck it before I fix it all the way. All right, let's recheck it. So there is another coin right on that edge over here. So there is another coin in there. That's why we're getting those weird numbers. It's more by the root though. So let's see if I can hear it with the pinpointer. It's on the other side of the root. I think it's like in this area. It was close, but not right next to it. So let's pop this out over here. So I got 2 different plugs here now. I'm trying to be real careful so that when I get done here, I don't have a giant mess that I've made. I want this to be a hole that no one will be able to see after I walk away that it was dug. So, okay, the other coin is right here. I see it. So it was 2 dimes down there doing that, giving us those numbers. Let's recheck it. All right, that is it. So, you know, I'll recheck it with the machine again, but I'm confident that I got both coins out. So I'm gonna cover this up again, and this. Push this stuff back in. We'll recheck it, and I'll cover that hole up real nice so that nobody knows that I've ever dug there. Super important. If nothing else, in this video right here today, you'll realize how important it is for just etiquette to cover your holes up, and especially in a nice green grass park like this where you got people out here playing, and it's a beautiful area to watch a baseball game. Please take the time to cover your holes up super nice and don't leave any dirt or anything, no trace that you dug there. That's very important for this hobby. All right, here's a really good sounding high conductor. Shallow. at the solid numbers on that. 92, 93, 94. We turn 90 degrees. Sounds really good. I don't think it's that deep. We'll check it with the pinpointer first. It's about an inch deep right here. It's a little bit deeper, like at least an inch. Again, I don't need to make a giant hole here to get to this. So I'm just going to make a little inspection hole here, like that. And I'm going to try to reach under there, kind of surgically, and see if I can feel anything in there. I think it's going to be right here. Yep. It's tough with one hand to work with. I'd already had it out by now if I was working with both hands, but I do feel it. Here it comes. See, is that it? Nope. There it is. So it's a quarter. Now this quarter is probably laying perfectly flat like that, not in an angle or anything. Flat like this, because that's why you're getting good numbers all the way around. If it was an angle like this on the ground, you could get different angles and get different numbers, but when it's flat, you get good solid numbers like we were getting. So that's what it was, another quarter. I'll tell you what we need though. This is a park video, right? So we got all the coins we need. We got plenty of coins, but what we really need is a piece of jewelry. So that's what I'm hoping for. Let's see if I can get a piece of jewelry to close this video out. All right, we're just talking about trying to find that jewelry. Listen to this. Your numbers, see the numbers? Jumping all over the place. Turn 90 is still there, but just different numbers. Let's dig it anyway so we can learn from it. But crazy numbers on this one. I'm hoping it's something with an odd shape and maybe jewelry. It's right here, it's a little bit deeper, so I have to dig down. The kind of knife that I'm using today is the kind you want to use in a park. It has serrated edges like this so it can cut through the roots and the grass. Makes it a lot easier for you and less of a hole, less of a messy hole if you have a good digging tool that has serrated edges. All right, let's see what this crazy signal was. Still down there, right on it. And that's what it was. It was here in the middle of this pen. Ballpoint pen. So, all right.